Well, time for some good old-fashioned controversy. We had a very controversial call in this game. 49ers Seahawks. Nick Bosa having a great year, but is, in the center of the controversy for a penalty called on him, and many feel as though not really sure what you're supposed to do here. Let's see what happens. So first, Bosa is going to, due to a good clear out by a teammate, also does good stuff himself, gets to the quarterback as Geno Smith is currently holding the football. So is not going to get a sack. Smith is going to get rid of the ball, but this hit is going to affect the throw of Geno Smith and help create a turnover that would have actually be a pick six. However, this is going to eventually get called for roughing the passer. So first, let's remember what roughing the passer is. I believe it's this section that they're going to call him on here. So it's a rushing defender is prohibited from committing such intimidating and pushing acts as stuffing a passer into the ground or unnecessarily wrestling or driving him down after the passer has thrown the ball, even if the rusher makes initial contact with the passer within the one-step limitation provided for in A above when tackling a passer who is in defenseless posture during or just after throwing a pass. A defensive player must not unnecessarily or violently throw him down or land on top of him with all or most of the defender's weight. Instead, the defensive player must strive to wrap up the passer with the defensive player's arms and not land on the passer with all or most of his body weight. So, okay, that's the rule. Let's see what Bosa does here. So we're seeing right here, what does he do? Does he land on him with all or most of his weight? Yes, I guess so. So I guess I can see why by the letter of the law that is called, but it really just it is so difficult for these players. I mean, Geno Smith is not a small guy. Smith is 6'3", 220 pounds. I mean, these quarterbacks are big people, and you're trying to bring him to the ground. Bosa was there, and really just kind of the momentum of that hit forced him to take Smith to the ground. And the reality is, I think there's a good chance Bosa does not land on him if it wasn't for the fact that he got bumped by another player. So it's just these defenders, they just get put in these tough situations. And the reality is, if you're a good pass rusher, you're going to get roughing the passer calls against you. I mean, Al Michaels mentioned on the broadcast that he has 4 roughing the passer penalties on the year. And I feel like if you heard that 10 years ago, you'd be saying, wow, he must be a dirty player. But no, he gets there. And sometimes when you get a lot of pressures, you're going to get some roughing the passer penalties. It's just an unfortunate break for San Francisco.